What's up, babes? Chapter 1072. I had to remake this video literally because something didn't click for me the first time around. But this is the second time, even recently, where Oda's cover story or cover page is directly influenced into the chapter written. And that's kind of, it goes towards the very first thing that Vegapunk says in his notes. This girl is unmistakably human. It's a huge step towards world peace. And it's him as the head scientist of MADS, the Laboratory of Peace, which is very interesting because then I think everybody was able to split off in their own ways because of their own ideals or whatever they thought was correct. But I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about at the very end of this chapter, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But it is very interesting. It shows Caesar, Mr. Vinsmoke, and Queen all look like they're developing a clone of some kind with the devil fruit being involved. Which it's anyone guess what that devil fruit is, but we'll get there. This chapter, in my opinion, it was very interesting, but it seemed to kind of slow down a little bit of the pace. And that's because, I mean, you know that I haven't been digging too much of Bonnie in these recent chapters, and this was kind of like Bonnie focused. But we do get some of her powers, which is somewhat interesting. I'm going to be honest. I mean, her powers, there could be no more development with them, and I wouldn't really care. I don't really mind her too much, but she's doing some body dysmorphia stuff going on here. She does hit Vegapunk and turns him young. He looks adorable as a little youngster with his little apple on his head. She makes some weird shiny objects that I guess associate with his age, and even he's saying that, which is interesting. Very weird, but interesting. Tells him to calm down. He's like, I need you to tell me, why did you kill my dad? And he's like, I can't. And it turns out with this phenomenal flashback, he explains why. But before that, we get Kuma at the same time. Now I know Kuma is climbing the red line, immediately crashed into it, looked up, started climbing. I didn't think that they were going to do anything to him. I thought we were going to have a name come out and beat him up in order for him to stop. But it seems like normal Marines were able to get Kuma off that wall. They blew Kuma up, they took Kuma off that wall, and that's just kind of how it happened. Vegapunk's like, Kuma made me promise that I would never tell you, that I couldn't tell you. She's like, at least you have a reason, but that's not enough for me. I'm a pirate. I'm Jewelry Bonnie. I'm annoying. And I need to know. I need to know the answer to this. And then it keeps kind of going back and forth. But Kuma gets blasted off the wall, like I said, landing right back into the port. I don't know what he's going to accomplish. I don't know what he's going to do. I didn't think that they were going to be able to stop him. I thought that he was going to have to fight some admiral or something that would make it so he is able to stop, but he looks pretty beat up, and it looks like at this point his energy might be running too low that he's not going to be able to create or accomplish the dream or whatever goal that he had in mind, which is very sad. And I can't even really tell you why that's sad yet, but I bet it is very sad. I think Kuma, without question, made a sacrifice for the good of the entire world, and we're going to get to know that very soon, but we don't know what that is. And it might be very sad to just watch him fail just because he's no longer himself. Both the resistance and kind of the world. I think he definitely helped out the Straw Hats in a lot. And at the end of the day, even that accomplishment in itself, because they're probably going to be the saviors of the entire world once we get to the end of all of this, that he was able to protect their ship, that he was able to kind of protect them pre-time skip. And I think that goal in itself might be more than enough to make up for whatever's about to happen. But I'm not 100% sure. I think Kuma's super strong still. I just don't know what he's going to do at this point. I think that it's already been reported. They already blasted him off the wall twice or once, maybe twice. It kind of depends on how you look at it. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like he has the strength of the power at this point to do anything. Bonnie, she had like 3 or 4 moves this time. She's able to age objects as well as people, and kind of change her own body type around different aging and different, make it bigger, make it smaller, and doing different things to kind of fit whatever she needs in that moment. And then we come across Kuma's big paw print, and then we come to find out what Kuma's power is, which is way more interesting than Bonnie's power. They talk about memories. They talk about the weight of a soul. They talk about what Kuma's actual power is. And then he's like, can you store a memory for me? Is it possible that we could store memory for science. And he's like, that's way too personal, man. And I think that is the first time that we've ever seen Kuma as a person, as like a full 100% person. He's kind of drawing everything up on what their plan is supposed to be. But it looks like this is the first time that this is happening. And he talks about your power can take something intangible like pain and give it a physical form. So every emotion that he has, he's able to put into form, which I think is fucking awesome, which is like really cool, makes a lot of sense, has me thinking back to Zoro and everything that was happening there. But yeah, that part is just awesome. And he's shown, you know, like fighting people off as he's in there. It's a whole bunch of Marines, but with someone like Kuma, like, it's not really going to be a problem. Until they show a face or a name that we know, I wouldn't worry about his life too much, but he does look like it's kind of coming to an end. I don't think he makes it through Egghead. I think that whole thing gets solved before then, but I think Bonnie is going to come to a real realization before that time because of this. He says, don't touch that. There's nothing there but pain, that it could kill you. But it could be a memory, or it could just be like the idea of pain. We could get another flashback to what happened with Zoro and him maybe understanding Luffy better. I'm not even sure, because now that we know what his power is, it's kind of... the possibilities are kind of endless. Yeah, okay, so he does, I think, get confirmed knocked down twice, or maybe just the once. But he's fighting people off. I don't really see anything happening there. But Bonnie truly cares about her dad. And what happened to him, because she knows absolutely nothing. She needs to know the truth, and she's about to find out, whether that's good or whether that's bad. Now, zoom back to Egghead and kind of the situation we were dealing with before, where I was like, Zoro might be able to deal with CP0, but then shit got turned on its head immediately, and then they turned it right back, and they were like, well, more shit. The Seraphims are up there, all four of them. All four of them are up there. I think they said it's 2 against 7 now. They're up against the best of the best. I don't know if that's saying that these Seraphims are the best of the best. I don't think so. I would say that they're all probably pretty equal, but it's Jinbei, Hawkeye, Kuma, and Hancock are up there, and they're just like raring to go. Now that they're past the barrier, like, that's really sketchy. Now, even CP0 understands, like, they're like, I don't even know if we want you guys up here, because we know that anybody who's able to talk to you that is a satellite or Vegapunk himself is going to turn you immediately against us, which is not something that we like or can afford at this time. But then they hit us with another variable, and I'm like, well, I don't even know where that fits in. But Lilith and the short one, I forget his name, Edison and Lilith run out there, and they're like, we need to get these people back in control, because if we do that, we easily have the numbers. With Borsalino on the way, I think that's probably going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure. If Borsalino runs up and just kicks the ass of this many Seraphim, it would be nuts. It would be nuts for him to just beat up a bunch of Lunafistas for no reason. Zoro's like, Brook, you go protect the ship. And by the way, Brook is debatably the most underrated in combat. He always comes in clutch. He always is like just a bit stronger than whoever they don't think that he can beat. Brook is legit. Brook is legit in combat. So originally I was looking at him and I was like Zoro's kind of going to carry here. But he really does trust Brook to protect the ship. And then we get the run back between Zoro and Kaku. It doesn't last nearly as long as I think anybody thought. He talks about fighting a bunch of zigzagging animals in Wano. He's like, you're nothing to me. Like, get out of my face. Slams him down to the ground. Probably didn't do too much like lasting damage. I mean, not only is he a Zoan, but he's advanced now too. I don't know what it is. He's awakened as well. That's confirmed, even though it might not have said it. It's that like black like flame cloud that's around him that I think confirms that he is awakened. I don't know what they did to do that. I don't know if the government just has some way of people being able to awaken their devil fruits in some bullshit manner, but I wouldn't be that surprised. I really wouldn't be. They tell the Seraphim to annihilate the lab. They start going to town immediately. So all the Straw Hats are now under attack, and they're trying to figure out kind of what to do or where to go from here. Luffy might be a little tired still from going Gear 5, but he could probably get that going again and get out there and do some damage. But then another variable that I don't think anyone expected, I have not seen anyone and their mother call this, because you can't. There's nothing you can really call here. We see Stussy bite Kaku. Bites Kaku. Kaku falls down. Lucci is more than surprised. Kaku's like out. I don't know if he's dead. I doubt it, because no one dies in One Piece, but he's out cold. And And Lucci's like, what the fuck are you doing? And Stussy, who is then comes out and is the clone of Miss Buckingham Stussy, who we have no idea who that is, of the Rocks Pirates. Now, we do know who the Rocks Pirates are, and that's kind of a big deal. That's kind of a big deal because if this was Mad's first successful clone, like they said at the first part of the chapter, and in the chapter, like the cover page story, the fact that they had that devil fruit, which I'm pretty sure is the one that she has, showing wings and maybe some vampiric abilities of sorts. That's kind of like my guess at the moment. I haven't gotten really too into maybe trying to guess what this is, but it's kind of pointless at this time. I just don't know what her goal is. I don't know. Clearly she's on her own here, I would say. She wants Lucci to join him, so those two are about to fight. The Seraphim are probably about to be told to chill out by Lilith and Edison, because it seems like Stussy and Lucci are about to fight, but I don't understand why Stussy's okay with the Straw Hats getting away as a member of the Rocks Pirates. I don't know. If they're making that a clone, does Vegapunk know? Is it kind of a good person? She doesn't seem good. She doesn't seem good. And we've seen her in multiple places now. We saw her at Big Mom's, like way back when, if you remember. She was at the wedding. But I don't really know what she was doing there. I don't know what her mission was there as a clone. And somebody connected the Rocks Pirate. She might have been trying to communicate something to Big Mom as a fellow Rocks Pirate member herself. But I'm not sure. The fact that the Rocks Pirates are coming back, though, does immediately make me think that Emu might be Rocks. Maybe. I know that's kind of a theory floating around, but that doesn't really make much sense when you look at the timeline of things. But we have no idea. We literally have no idea who Emu-sama is. We're all just speculating when it comes to that. When they came to rise to power, we have no idea. I think the reason people think it's Rocks is, believe it or not, a decent amount because of Naruto, because it's kind of the Kaguya effect where they introduce somebody late and then they become the big bad out of nowhere. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't know if because it's a successful clone that they're acting on their own free will. I think they are. And I think that's why at the beginning of the chapter that Vegapunk said, this is for peace and this is a success and this is going to help the world find peace, where these people are allowed to act on their own free will. But I don't know if that went how he thought. I don't know if she or somebody who was cloned is a reason why they kind of fell out, why Mads fell out. I'm not sure. There's so much speculation here. It's kind of too much at the moment. We might have to wait a chapter, but if anybody else thinks they know something, let me know. The most interesting things here is that it's the Rocks Pirates. The fact that they're kind of being brought back, and some lady that I'm pretty damn sure that we've never heard anything about is back in action and ready to like fight CP0. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But solid chapter regardless. No break, which is great because we had 2 weeks of breaks, which was tough. That's why I wasn't here last week. But expect a video next week because we'll get another one. So you guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you on the flop. Peace.